Hello. Today we're going to do something pretty creative. My side business, or my main business, whatever you want to call it, is Enduring Repairs. Well, today this is going to be an Enduring Recovery. You see, this hole right here is just big enough for an iPod, AirPod earbud to fall through. And the folks whose house this is used their little ping device and they located it in this vicinity, and we're thinking it's down there. So hang in there and you might get to learn a thing or two about how to manage trim without having to decompose or demolish this entire thing. If you don't know what this is, we got a 5-in-1. Little pry bar, or a little chiseled edge scraper. Need a razor knife. Probably need a hammer at some point. And then I got a linesman plier for pulling nails out of wood. The first thing we need to do, because what we're gonna try to do is just trim this caulk. Pry it out and pull the trim back. We don't need to remove the whole thing. We are hoping we don't. But if I get it far back enough and get my finger in there, I'll just swipe that AirPod out. But you want to cut all your caulk seams first, so that when you pull this back, it doesn't pull the top of the paper with it and then peel your paint. And that way when we put it back in place, all you have to do is caulk that seam. And it's okay to cut through the sheetrock, because again, it's what keeps the paper from tearing, and you're just going to end up re-caulking it. And you don't have to be super pretty with the caulk, because you can just touch up, paint it, but that peeled paper is a very unfinished look. And then of course we cut this seam as well. You basically just want to go as far as you think you need to peel it. There's no right or wrong distance. So I've cut that deep enough on both sides, and we just got to be gentle. I don't know if you can see that split. It lets me know that I'm getting in there. Slight prime, because if you pry hard enough, you might snap it. A lot of this trim has like finger joints, because nowadays we just glue wood together and make it into a longer piece, and then glue it together with what's called a finger joint. It allows more surface area. Finger joint. But that's also where it's going to break if you pry on it the wrong way or too much. Alright, staples on this side. I have a feeling it didn't fall down all the way. There's not a lot of room in there. Watching my paper. I don't want to pry too far that it's going to keep going up. So if I can't get it here, I'm going to cut a little more. Be better safe than sorry, and just cut a little higher. This side is not so much to worry, because it's not going to tear that paper, but it will peel that paint, so it's still good practice to cut it and peel that tape. These folks have caulked around this, so we want to cut through that. Sometimes that's done, sometimes not. Be very careful if you're not good with a knife. Don't just, you know, slowly, gently. That 5-1 fits nicely in here. Uh-oh, got something. Uh-oh. You got something. Would you look at that? Voila! I'm gonna go make sure this is the only thing in there. Is this the only thing?
Yeah, this is it. Thank you.
Alright. So now these little.
How far down was it?
It was halfway,
Oh, good. How did you get it out?
like this.
Look at that. And I would have not thought of taking this off. I would have taken this part off because I didn't know that
Right,
this
so-
came off.
A lot of times this is attached to this when they sandwich it together.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Now I
this
see
is called,
that.
it's probably called a split jam. Hold on, I can verify that.
Hold on, let me.
It
I
is a
gotta
split
get
jam.
the twins.
Yeah, picture it, kids.
They're about to start with that.
Alright. So I'm going to remove all these so that it'll actually sit flat again. There's one up here. I think I'm just going to hammer on it. Or hopefully it goes into the wood. Some of it's not. Leaving some of the... there's that. That will keep us from sitting flat again. So I'm filleting that extra caulking off so that we can re-caulk it and make it look pretty. Oh yeah, we're still recording. I'll probably stop it when we nail it back together. Did you send it to Roberto?
No, I'm about to.
One of the cool things about a 5-in-1 is it's actually, and the reason it has a sharper edge. Let me see if I can bring the video around here. It's actually designed to help with this little ridge right here. To fillet that little caulking off so that you can back up. See that tear right there? It tore towards the inside. It didn't tear towards the outside because I cut the caulk. So now another thing I've done is taken the razor knife and taken it out or put it in a handle. A blade hand holder of sorts. And filleted what I needed to. And the reason we're doing all this is so that when we put the trim back down, it sits flat. And then again, it's a much cleaner bead of caulk than just going with, like, putting it all back into place. So, clean all that off the wall. This guy back together. Get all that out of the way. Alright, so I don't know if you saw it, but there were tiny staples holding this side, and the longer nails holding this side. If you have staples, great. If not, if all you got is a 15 gauge nail gun, try to find you some shorter nails and try to be decently good at your aim. Set it all back in place. Check your reveal there. Try to get it the same down here. If you can help it. Just put a few nails. You don't need a lot. Switching to the longer nails. For the outside. And just, I try to get in this groove. You can put it on the face, whatever, but if you put it in the groove, then you can caulk that hole a little better. Obviously, you need putty, sanding, caulk, that whole deal. Alrighty. I guess the ultimate test is to shut the door, make sure it works. Alrighty. Locks, kids. So maybe we should caulk that hole so the child does not drop it in there again. I don't know. Does anybody else have an issue with kids dropping toys down these things? Maybe now this will help anybody who needs to fish it out of there.